Tonight I want to talk about the initial feeling of making the decision to change, to grow, to move, to do whatever. Okay? Now, if you're anything like me, you've made tons of decisions along the way to change, to get better, to do something great, but they were very fleeting. They were like, yeah, I'll be awesome, and for 2 days you got up extra early or went to the gym or, did something to make yourself a little bit better, but soon after that died off really quickly,
Oh, wait a minute. Sent a request. What does that mean?
What happened?
Request to be in our video? I don't know what that means.
Well,
I'm guessing people are seeing this. I hope people are seeing this.
it's fine.
And I don't have it on some weird private... Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
A little sidetracked, but we'll be back. Okay, so, as I was saying, the initial... Hang on.
The initial moments up to the decision? Or the decision?
Okay, so, like I've done so many times, I've made many decisions to get better, but they were very, passive. Maybe it was for a week or a couple of days, but then it died off, So the motivation or the power that came from that initial decision wasn't very strong after a little while. Sometimes it was the next morning. That night I was feeling super inspired or super ready to change, and the next morning I wake up with none of those feelings from the night before. And it's it's frustrating when you actually make the strides towards change, when you make that decision and act on it constantly, because there's something called cognitive dissonance that we encounter every single time we want to change. And cognitive dissonance it's when believing what you know to be true butts heads with something you try and make true or you want to believe is true. So it's essentially what you know to be true versus what you're living as to be true. Does that make sense?
I think so, yeah.
So essentially it's kind of like when you're living in your set ways and you know you should be better, there's that uncomfortable feeling of trying to shift over, So that cognitive dissonance that isn't jiving with you is going to throw you off, because it's going to throw off all of your motivation or your inspiration or whatever it is that you had initially. And I encountered that so many times and still do. There are times when the fear of change or getting outside of my comfort zone keeps me in certain places that I wish I would step out of. And you, my friend, I probably know exactly what I'm talking about, though. That feeling of being in the place that you're at, and you don't want to be there, but you stay there. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That cognitive dissonance, because it's like, I know I shouldn't be here, I know I can do all these grandiose things, but yet
why can't I?
I'll just sit here, or, I probably can't, or probably shouldn't, or won't work out, whatever the thought is.
Yeah.
How did you combat that? And how long did it take you to overcome it?
Well, I'm assuming you're asking that question so that I'll tell them.
Because you
know the answer.
How are you combating that still? Because I'm sure it still happens.
Well, I think that I was stuck in that little limbo for, easily 16 years. And I think that, yeah, it's a funny feeling, and it's really interesting because you're having this potential inside of you I shouldn't say no. Maybe on some level but you truly feel like you have. There's potential somewhere in there, and then you have this incredible desire to reach it or achieve it, but for some reason you can't connect that desire and your potential with reality. And I know from my personal experience that can be one of the hardest struggles a human being can go through. It is tough, and it taxes your brain and your soul at the deepest level, because it sucks knowing you can do so much and then not doing it. But and what's more, looking at that from the outside and like understanding that, like why am I not doing it? What is it about this that I can't do? What is this? Why am I? And then you start thinking, maybe I'm fooling myself. Maybe I can't do this. Maybe this isn't something I can do. Maybe I'm just dumb. Or maybe I'm meant to be mediocre for the rest of my life. And those are the thoughts that your ego wants you to take. And those are the thoughts that, opposing forces in the world want you to think. Because those are the thoughts that build and build and build on each other and create that negative pillar of anti-success, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And but the good news is it works in the other direction too. And I think that what it took for me was building upon my potential, however little that step could be. And 16 years is a long time. And I'm not saying I was building those steps for 16 years, because honestly I wasn't. I was probably building the other way for most of that time. And I think that a little bit of it has to do with kind of testing your comfort zones and feeling around what you can handle. And once you find out that you can handle certain things, you start realizing what you are capable of more and more, however small that is. You just need to reach out and grasp for something that you can hold on to and build off of. Yeah.
Okay.
You kind of caught me on the spot there.
Good. Keep you on your toes. So, and essentially, if I understand correctly, you're saying that no matter the time period that you're sitting in that limbo, that doesn't matter essentially. It's the steps that you make to get out of it will make the difference, however little or insignificant you think they may be. Anything is better than sitting stagnant, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The stagnation is the building of the anti-success, the anti-happiness. Sitting stagnant only works one way. So if you're sitting stagnant, which by definition means you're not doing anything, but really you're building that anti-success structure.
Mm-hmm.
So you are actively doing something.
But negative, no
but
matter
negatively.
what.
And the more you do it, the longer you do it, the harder it's going to be to deconstruct that structure so that you can build off of the, use that material and build something new that's positive.
Sweet. So
you do learn.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to use all the stuff you learn while you're hating on yourself and feeling depressed. That isn't necessarily all bad, because they're emotions and feelings that are real. They are inside of you, and it shows you what you're capable of internally. And for however hard and however strong you can feel about something in a negative way towards yourself, double that, and that's how you can feel about it yourself positively. So, I mean, if you can really hate on yourself or really hate your environment or the way things are going for you, and it affects you to the core, just know that you can feel opposite of that. So keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
There is an opposite. There always is an opposite.
Everything has its opposite.
Yeah.
All right, so pretty much, if you're on this path to personal growth or change, expect to have some sort of negative energy telling you to stay put or not change to better yourself. It's uncomfortable, but get ready to experience it, and it's not an inviting feeling. So when you encounter that, talk it down and know that it's there, and it's only a smokescreen. You can go right through it. You might have blurry vision for a little while.
And you might be choking.
And you might choke a little bit, but guess what? You'll make it through. And it'll probably be a lot better on the other side of that, you know. So don't forget, just be okay with the uncomfortable for a little bit, and work through every period of being uncomfortable, because it'll keep coming. Because you'll have to keep growing somehow.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about, is that perpetual journey of growth. That's what we're here for. There is, a lot of people, that's a whole nother topic, but don't get stuck on the idea of there being an end game.
Yeah, no. There is
the
no
end game.
game.
Is a perpetual game. That's
end
how you
game
stay
should
happy.
be forever.
So, all right, guys. Thanks for those. You're done, right?
Yep.
Thanks for those of us who joined us tonight, and thanks for those of you who will watch later. We hope you guys enjoy this. We always post these on YouTube, probably tomorrow, and Facebook if you want to watch them after it goes away on Instagram. We love you guys. Live life decided.
Always.
LD.